Alright, hello from the French Alps. So, guys are ready to stop fatigue-related accidents and build your own environmental sensor kit? That's what we're here for. Today we're going to be talking about the hardware that's needed and some of the other steps that we're going to need to take. And that's going to be a lot of fun. But you may be wondering, what am I doing with a soldering iron and some boards in the middle of a kitchen? Well, in our original plan, we were going to go and film this at a very cool location named Lac in Grenoble. It's a makerspace, great for innovation. However, it turns out that some people decided to burn the place down. That's not a joke. The place is absolutely totaled and millions of damages in equipment. Apparently, it's a lot of fun to burn a place that helps innovation, teaches science to kids. So, needless to say, we had to go with Plan B, which is why you're in this great kitchen for the first installment. And then we're going to go and find some other alternatives because at some point you're going to want to print, 3D print or laser print some of the things that we do, and we're going to have to find ways to walk you and show you how to get it done. All right, so let's get started on building this thing. All right, so rather let's keep on focusing on how you're going to be building that environmental sensor and what we're going to be doing along with you. One of the things that we're really doing with SmartTrans is taking the approach that whenever we put one of those sensor kits inside of truck, it's going to help prevent fatigue-related accidents. And some people can buy the kits from us, but because you guys are makers, it's much more fun if you do build along and have a community build. That way we can share, and we can also explain to our friends that there's nothing crazy or out of the ordinary. Being able to spread why technology is being used is pretty important. So we're going to be doing this. Here are some of the tools that you guys need to get started. Step one, you're going to need to download the app. The app is called Stop Fatigue. It's available on iOS and Android. So just go and download it. It's free. And the way we're going to be using the app is that then we're going to be able to transmit data from the boards to the SmartTrans system in the background. So get that going. That's going to be step one. Step two, I need you guys to head out to GitHub. And you're going to get to GitHub, start to follow our repo there, and you're going to be able to ask questions, put concerns. We're going to be using the repo to give you the code that's needed to run some of the boards. And now after that, it's up to the community to make the code better, put the enhancement on it. So it's really going to be a team project for everybody. Now, if you're wondering about all the different things I've talked about or the hardware I'm going to be talking about in a minute, just look down in the comments. There's going to be some links to the bill of material where you can get some of the stuff and the different things you need to do and install. So it's going to be pretty simple. Don't worry about it. So hardware, yeah, we need to talk hardware to get our environmental sensors going. Now, what we're going to be doing is use a card from ST Microelectronics. This one is the Nucleo, drumroll please, the Nucleo STM32L476. That's a great name, obviously. But the reason we're choosing this board over other tools is plentiful. Obviously, it's more of a business decision for us to build our sensor kit around this. There's also the fact that ST is extremely ingrained here in the community in Grenoble, and we want to have that community feel in whatever we do. So being able to work with them, they're local, it's a big plus. Now, you guys may not want to do ST. You may have a lot of Arduinos laying around, like this Arduino 101 in our case. You may have some other. That's fine as well. That's no problem. One of the cool things actually about those boards is that, see if you have some of the extensions for Arduino, like this one is a seed extension. Usually, it goes one-to-one onto the Arduino and then you get going. Now the cool part with the ST one is that you can do exactly the same. It has the extension board. So while you are in your prototyping cycles, you can use whichever equipment you had from Seed or from Arduino and use that. If you want to use some other boards, that's up to you. There's no problem. Next, we're going to need some sensors. So sensors, here are some recommendations to guess what you guys can use. We have a sound sensor. You can also decide to put a, this one is light sensor. There's of course a temperature sensor, and it would probably be a good idea as well to put an air quality sensor and possibly a push button so you can have all that on your board. Now, as far as getting the equipment, some of you may already have it, others may be looking at purchasing things. What we've done in the past is that some companies, including Seed, including DF Robots, they have kits. So you can buy a lot of those sensors as kits. Actually, the only sensor that I have not seen as being part of the kit is the air quality. And again, in the link, I'll show you where you can go and get that. Whatever you pick is fine. It's your build, it's your tool, and as you will see, it's not going to change how it works in the back end, which is the cool part. So grab whatever you have laying around or what makes sense for you. There are some sensors that are pretty cheap. You can go very expensive on sensors. It depends on you internally. So that's the fun part. Next week, actually, we're going to be talking about the sensors a lot more because those little guys, they look all nice and harmless, but they can be very tricky to work with. And we've learned a lot of interesting things just building our first few prototypes. So next week, we're going to be sharing this with you. And by the way, the goal is to release a new video about every Friday, so you guys then can spend the weekend to build and play with this technology. So next week, we're going to be talking about sensors and some of the bad information they can give you, some of the workarounds. Then we're going to go the week after, we're going to be looking at the code to interact between the board and between your phone device. And the last thing we'll do, the last session, is going to be to put everything together and make it work all at once. So that's going to be really accessing the data you've collected and how we do things with that data behind it. All right, so the first thing you guys have to do is going to be able to go and gather the gear. Make sure you get on GitHub and drop us a line when you're there and when you're ready to get going. It's going to be fun as well. Feel free to subscribe to the videos on YouTube. That way, whenever we push the new ones, you'll get a nice little notification that it's ready and available for you to check out. Feel free to invite others. I'm sure you have friends as well who want to be safe when they drive or who are really very much into technology and building cool things. Just let them know. Just share the link with them, and the more the merrier. That's going to be a community project, and that's the way we want to keep it going. That's the end of the first video. You guys can go and get the gear. Looking forward to putting a stop to fatigue-related accidents with you guys, and looking forward to your comments about the videos and building the thing together. Have a great weekend. Have fun.